This is the Atlantis incline converging plate loadable chest press. Now this exercise primarily targets your chest muscles, especially the sternal and clavicular portion. Now it also targets the anterior deltoid and the triceps as well. Now there's a couple of things as always that we need to look at before we get started. We need to look at the seat position and also the position of the arms. Now we're going to adjust the seat based on the length of our torso and also the length of our limbs as well, and where we're actually trying to target at the chest, all right? Because we want to make sure that not only our hands are in a comfortable position, but we can maintain a nice stack as well at the wrists and the elbows. So we can also adjust these arms based on our active range of motion as well, and you can see that with the red buttons at the outside position there. So I've also brought a stepper over as well. Now the reason why I like using the stepper is it allows us to maintain a nice stack between the ribs and hips. This stops us using the low back once it starts getting quite heavy, and it allows us to keep some abdominal engagement throughout. Another benefit to that is if we're in an incline and we're overarching the back, then it's not actually an incline chest press anymore. So that's just something to consider. So if we're trying to target the upper portion of the pecs, we really want that arm path to be heading in this direction. So before we get started, we're going to assess our active range. So to do that, we bring our hands behind the handles and see if we can bring our hands off. Now, for me, that's a struggle. My shoulders start to round forward and the head starts to tilt back. So, as mentioned, we can pull this wee red button and let it come up. Now if I go back in and reassess, I can bring my hands off. Now another thing here is, for myself, I need to adjust the seat position. Now what we're looking for is to have a nice stack between the wrists and the elbows. So I've planted my heels on the stepper, my ribs are stacked over my hips, taking in a deep breath and then pressing up. Now as I come down, I'm maintaining my stacked wrist and elbow, pushing back up. Now notice I'm just bringing my head off this pad. Now that's going to be dependent on the upper back musculature, and also the benefit of this is I'm getting a little bit more freedom of movement from the shoulder blades, because we really don't want them fixed the whole time. Okay. Now if I was going into this wider position, you can notice that this seat is actually too low down. So if I move this up, it's going to be a much more comfortable position for myself. This is why it's important to make sure that you play around with these positions to get the most from the exercise. Now, the weights go on the horns here at each side, and that is the Atlantis incline converging plate loadable chest press here at JP's gym.